Welcome, parents and guardians. The reason we have created this homework DVD series is because Kung Fu is ideally practiced daily, even just a little bit. Kung Fu means hard work, and it's based upon the principle of doing something a little bit each day and getting a little bit better, understanding a little more the more you do it. So, although your child will learn plenty, coming 2 to 3 times a week, if they reinforce that with even just a few minutes a night, with your supervision and with the help of this DVD, they will develop their Kung Fu much more quickly and gain much more benefit from their training at the Smiling Dragon Kung Fu Academy. And so we begin. Thank you. And here we go with preparation for first degree white sash. 3 basic stances and transitions. At this point, for the children, we're going to keep this as basic as possible without compromising the integrity of the art. First stance that they need to know is Iji Kimyoma, or your basic medium stance. Traditionally, how we enter this, we bring our feet together, bring our toes out as much as possible, and our heels out as much as possible. And it's very important that you end up with your feet at least as wide as your shoulders. You can also just get in that position, and that's also fine. Just so you know the traditional way of getting in that stance. The toes should be pointing in. The feet should be as wide as the shoulders, at least, as I said. And very, very important, the pelvis should be tucked under. Not too far forward, just a little bit. But they shouldn't look like that, because that doesn't work. You get no power from the ground, you get no vertical positioning, and a lot of very, very important things that go with that. So, Ichi Kimyoma, or medium stance, feet at least as wide as the shoulders, pelvis tucked in. Mansao, the forward hand, and the Wusao, very, very important. The Wusao should be at least a thumb and a fist away from the chest. At least, that's their thumb and a fist, not yours. But I prefer it even further than that. The Wusao faces up like a shark's fin, and the Mansao points forward, with the elbow slightly in. The center line is covered. It is not open like that. It's your basic stance. From here, we're going to go to a side horse, or a dragon pose, as Sigam Dr. Krishoni likes to call it. All you're doing from here is you're going to shift 45 degrees. So the feet shift 45 degrees on the balls of the feet, not the heels. Very important detail. Shift. Mansao and Wusao are still extended at the same distance. Critically important. From here, they should be able to go from here, back to here, back to here, on the balls of their feet. Shifting on the balls of their feet. And then the next stance is going to be a basic forward stance. So if they're turned this way, turn to their left with their right Mansao forward, they will simply step forward with their right foot, making sure that their feet are far enough away from each other so they have a good root. The distance of their feet should match their Iji Kimyoma, which means, once again, at least as wide as their shoulders. So if you go to a forward stance from here, it should be the same distance as this. And there you have 3 basic stances and transitions. So now we have our, what we call the elephant walk, with palm strikes, triple palm strikes, and also a praying mantis hammer fist. The elephant walk is really a simple matter of being in a forward stance, feet sufficiently wide enough to have a good root. So if your left foot's forward, if their left foot is forward, your left Mansao is forward, and you have your right Wusao up. You have a good root, you're in a forward stance. The hips should be forward, not turned. That's a finer point. It's difficult for children to do that. We will get to it in time. Just know that's ideal, that the hips should be facing forward. From here, basic elephant walk is simply a matter of taking a step, but they have to step into a good route. That's the most important thing. They can't take a step and then all of a sudden they don't have their route anymore. So elephant walk is simply they're in the right position, they're in a ready position, as we say in class, and they step and they switch hands and step into a good route, because the right leg's forward, now the right Mansau is forward, and they step and they switch hands. That's that. From there, we go into the palm strike. When they step, instead of just putting their Mansau forward, they step into a good route, and they strike with their palm. They make sure they're in a good route. They're hitting with the heel of their palm, with their whole body. They can't be leaning forward. The pelvis has to still be tucked. That's how you get the power from the ground in your whole body. Body mechanics and leverage and all this wonderful stuff that we get from our Kung Fu. So it's simply a matter of palm strike, you step, and there's your palm strike. Step, and there's your palm strike. Triple palm strikes is the same thing, obviously, except 3 times. They step, important. The first palm strike always does not occur until their foot hits the ground, otherwise they do not have the power of the ground with them. So you step and you palm strike as your foot hits the ground, and then 2 more subsequently. So here we go. So it's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more very important note to make about the triple palm strikes is it's important to keep the elbows in. When you step, if you go like this, you're wide open and vulnerable. So it's important to make sure that your child, when they step, strike, strike, strike. Notice how my elbows and my arms are protecting my center line. And the last one in this group is going to be the praying mantis hammer fist. Same thing basically, except now it's a fist smashing downward. When they step, they don't do the hammer fist until their foot hits the ground. So they step into a good route. The hand should not go past parallel with the ground, should not go down here, should go right about there. So they can begin and keep it simple with both hands and fists. Makes it easier for the children. And they step, and that's a hammer fist, and this one still protects. Very important, please make sure your child does not do this. Hammer fist, and the other hand just kind of goes somewhere else. The other hand should always be protecting. When you're striking, you're always protecting with the other hand. So, step, hammer fist when the foot hits the ground, and the other hand is basically in Wu Sao position. It can be a fist, that's okay, but it's generally about where the elbow is, away from the body, never close to the body, always out here where Wu Sao should be. And there you have it, elephant walk with palm strikes, triple palm strikes, and the praying mantis hammer fist. And now we'll cover running horse, which is a critical element to anyone's good Kung Fu, being able to move with running horse. It allows you to move without ever giving up your route, to always be connected. Although taking an elephant step is acceptable and has certain advantages, running horse allows you to always be connected to the ground. Essentially, beginning in ready position, Mansau, Wu Sao. The Mansau, the extended hand should be the same one as a leg that's extended. Make sure the feet are as wide as the shoulders as they would be if they were in their medium stance. What's going to happen is the front foot's going to move forward and the back foot's going to move forward the same distance. The biggest mistake people make, children and adults alike, is they'll move their front foot, let's say 2 inches, and the back foot 8 inches, and they lose that route and lose that distance. It's the biggest thing to watch for when you help your children, is make sure, we call it step, replace, and at first I want them to check. I don't want them to check by looking down. It's not very practical, not a good habit to do when you're practicing a martial art, to look down. So they're going to step, they're going to replace, and they're going to check, but they're going to check by feeling it to see if it feels strong to them. You can even push them to make sure it is strong. But they want to check every time, because if you don't check, you end up getting very sloppy very, very fast. So, Step, replace, check. The other very important thing is to make sure, once again, the pelvis is tucked in. Not like this, never leaning forward. Pelvis tucked in, back vertical. Step, replace. And now we're going to cover the T-step transition to the running horse. Essentially what's going to happen is they step, they replace, they check. They step, they replace, they check. They do that for a little bit, then their front foot pulls back behind the other foot, facing at a 90-degree angle behind the other foot, and then this foot steps forward. I'll show you again. My left foot's forward, my left Mansau's forward, step, replace, check, then the left foot pulls back behind, touching the other foot behind at a 90-degree angle, and then the right foot moves forward along with the right Mansau, and now they're back in running horse on the other side. Step, replace, right foot pulls back, the heels are basically touching, and the feet are at a 90-degree angle, and then the left foot steps forward. Once they do that, the back foot's going to be pointing out a little bit. They can straighten out their back foot and continue their running horse. Step, replace. And there you have running horse with T-step transitions as well. And now we will cover front kick and side kick comprehensive. Starting from a ready position, a forward stance with a good root, good Mansau, a good Wusau. By the way, I need to mention, the hands should be packed through all of this. Packed means not like that. It's a good way to get your fingers broken unless you do specific Kung Fu training like some styles do. We prefer this in Wing Chun. It's packed, it's together, it's also developing you for a much more advanced level of Wusau, which can be used for striking and developing strength. So both hands should be packed, no loose fingers. Ready position. We're going to cover sneaky, what we call sneaky front kick. The back foot moves in real close to the other foot. The front foot comes up as high as possible. Get that knee up, the toes come back. They kick with their heel and they go down. Very important thing, a lot of people don't do correctly, or other styles do it differently. There's some confusion about it. Some people, when they kick with the front kick, they'll pull back. We don't do that for a specific reason, because we're an inside fighting system. We want to be close to the opponent. So what happens is, back foot comes in, front foot comes up as high as possible, protecting the groin. It's a guard, it's a shield. Kicking forward with the heel, and then they go land right down there. At more advanced levels, the child will then be able to kick, and when they land, immediately strike, and then go on the running horse and do all sorts of things. So it's very important that the foot lands forward. Okay, so that's what we call sneaky front kick. Once they have that down and they're strong with that, we're going to add the back foot front kick, which is a nice addition. Sometimes that might actually be very practical. So we do sneaky front kick, foot comes up, kick, land, and then immediately the back foot comes up. They change hands. Now the right Mansau is forward, get the knee as high as possible, kick, and land. Once again, sneaky front kick. My left Mansau is now forward, and then leg comes all the way up, forward, switching to the right Mansau, and landing. Now we're going to cover the sneaky side kick, the only other kick they need for their testing purposes at this juncture. What's going to happen is we're in a forward stance, a good strong forward stance with our feet as wide as our shoulders at least. And the Mansau is going to travel over to the side along with the Wusau. It's a true side kick. A big problem, a big mistake a lot of people make, children and adults alike, is they try to turn their torso into it. The torso is turning now at an angle, and that's not correct. You want the chest facing that direction, basically the shoulder facing the direction you're kicking. It's a side kick. It's a very important detail. So your Mansa and your Wusao are now facing to the side, the opponent's on the side, and your chest is facing this way, and your shoulder is facing the opponent. What's going to happen is, this foot will slide in, this foot will come up, and when you kick, the toes have to go down and back. Kick with your heel, once again landing forward, and that's basically it. It's also very important to make sure the back, when they're kicking, doesn't turn this way, like that. That can be taken advantage of. The back should be straight, essentially. Even though it's leaning this way, it's not turning. Sneak in, up, kick, and they're at a straight angle to the side. And they land forward once again. Sneak in, up, straight out, and forward. And they should be able to do that on both sides, of course. And then you have your front kick and side kick comprehensive. Now we're going to cover what I call balloon breath for the sake of the children, belly breathing. Usually it's referred to in most areas as abdominal breathing. It's very important and very difficult for people to get correctly, because most people, when they take a deep breath, if I say take a deep breath, most people will go like this. Okay, and that's okay, it's fine. When you learn to breathe deeper, there's a great deal of benefit. When you breathe into your belly, it looks like this. The belly actually fills up. The benefit is you get all this oxygen and even more oxygen, which turns into chi and power and energy and health and vitality and all sorts of good things. It also is very calming. We use that to teach the kids to stay calm. We use it to stay calm even under duress, even in battle. To be breathing deeply, you stay calm, and there's a lot of other benefits as well. The other one I'll mention right now is it helps us with our balance. As we breathe in our belly and learn to breathe in our belly, when we do things where we're standing on one leg, it helps us find our center, or our dandian, as we say, which is under the belly button, directly under the belly button, in the center of the body. So breathing in your belly helps you also find your center and stay in your center when you're doing different exercises. So it's simply a matter of helping the child to understand, when they breathe in, the belly fills up. When they breathe out, the belly empties. When they breathe in, the belly fills up. When they breathe out, the belly empties. It's not easy at first, even though it's the most natural thing in the world. This is how babies breathe. It takes a little while to relearn how to do that, but once you have it, it becomes natural to you. And so you have balloon breath or belly breathing. The next requirement for their first degree white sash testing is what's very commonly referred to as the stop, breathe, and think method of avoiding making a bad decision when you're upset. Because these children are being taught very serious skills, it is of the utmost importance that they learn self-control and learn to stay calm. This is a proven method that a lot of institutions utilize. It's as simple as when you feel yourself getting angry, everyone gets angry. I explain to the children, everyone gets angry. It's natural to get angry. It's what you do with it that matters. So when you feel yourself getting angry, you just stop and then you breathe. Now that they've learned belly breathing, this technique can be even more effective than the way many people utilize it, because the belly breathing really helps relax you and calm you down. And then think about the consequences. If I hit somebody, or if I even say something mean, is that going to make the situation better or worse? Once you don't act angrily, once you stop, take a nice couple of belly breaths and think about it, you're able to make a much better decision. So we emphasize the stop, breathe, and think method here at the Smiling Dragon Kung Fu Academy. It suits our purposes very well, especially since they are learning deep abdominal breathing, which is a powerful way to calm down when we're upset. And now we will cover the first two rules of Kung Fu as we teach here at the Smiling Dragon Kung Fu Academy. These are very important rules, especially for the children, for a great many reasons. For example, the first rule is listen to Sifu. As you know, we have a light-hearted atmosphere. We give a lot of love. Everyone has a lot of fun and a good time. But there can't be any ambiguity whatsoever about who's in charge. When it's time to be serious, they need to know they have to listen to Sifu. Or Sihings, older brothers and sisters, as the case may be. The point is, there needs to be order. Without listening to Sifu, there will be no knowledge gained. I have gained what I know by listening to my Sifu, and continuing to, and I always will. So listening to Sifu, listen to Sifu, is the first rule of Kung Fu. They need to know this for their test. The second rule is arguably more important than the first rule, which is that they need to use their Kung Fu to help people and not hurt people. We're teaching your children very serious methods for self-defense that make them stronger than other children and have skills beyond other children, which is very good because we want our children to be able to defend ourselves. At the same time, with great power comes great responsibility. They need to understand that with the power and skill they're learning, that they need to always use it to benefit people and help people, and never to hurt people, never to be a bully, never to do anything to harm anyone with the power that they're developing. And that's extremely important to the school, to the art of Kung Fu, to representing it correctly, and to me personally. It's very important to me to know that the children understand that what I'm teaching them is a very special thing, and they have to use it only for positive purposes. And there you have it. The first level of white sash testing for your child. If you just pick one thing a night and work on it, it shouldn't take more than a few minutes, but I promise you, it will make all the difference in how quickly they develop and learn and the excellence of their Kung Fu as they move along. Thank you.